Stephen Bailey.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting us here to talk to you today. My name is Stephen Bailey. I'm running for Congress. I'm the Republican candidate. I want to provide a little bit of biographical information about myself so you know who I am. I came from a lower middle class family from Warren, Ohio. My father dropped out of high school, joined the Army. I'm the first one in my family to actually go to college. I did that initially for the first year at the University of Akron, dropped out. Did a roundabout way, moved to Mobile, Alabama, worked in a factory down there for a while and did some photography work, and then moved, joined the Air Force. When I got my motivation to actually get my degree from reading Milton Friedman and some other books on my own, and joined the Air Force, got stationed at March Air Force Base, went to school at night while I was in the Air Force and got my degree in 3 years, and was also named March Air Force Base Airman of the Year in 1983. After my honorable discharge from the Air Force, I went to work for Hughes Aircraft, continued to go to school at night and earned my master's degree. Met my wife in Southern California. We moved cross country multiple times, Washington, D.C. area for a couple of years, then Northern California. And finally, a little over 14 years ago, we moved here to Colorado. We love Colorado. We knew it was a beautiful place because we vacationed here, but after we moved here, the thing that we really came to appreciate was that the people here in Colorado really are the nicest people everywhere in the country that I've ever met. And I would extend that to everywhere in the world. The people here in Colorado are great. Currently, I went from working as a software engineer about 12, 13 years ago to moved into marketing. And currently, I'm director of solutions marketing for a software company called Mentor Graphics. I'm responsible for a product line about $100 million in size and 200 employees or more around the world. Running for public office was not on my bucket list of things to do, but I have to tell you, our country, I agree with a lot of what Curtis said, our country is in deep trouble. And in 2008, when we had the elections, we needed to elect people that were going to go into Washington, D.C. and be leaders, not to continue to do the same things over and over again. If you thought things were being done wrong under Bush with the TARP bailouts, the deficit spending, okay, have they really changed in any fundamental way? It's only a change in magnitude. The deficits have gone up by 3 times or more what they were under Bush. The government has grown exponentially. It's huge and it continues to grow. Bush, almost 17,000 pages of new regulation. In the last 20 months, almost that much, 17,000 pages of regulations. In the last 20 months, we've had nearly that just in legislation alone. There's going to be at least a 10x multiplier for the regulations on that. Washington, D.C. is literally strangling our economy by dictating everything that we do. And unfortunately, our incumbent has been a big part of that because he has voted for that agenda. $3 trillion of deficit spending in 2 years. This is insane. I agree with Curtis on this. What is our Federal Reserve doing? Well, it seems to be in a competition with the rest of the world to see who can devalue their currency the fastest. How are we supposed to get to prosperity? By driving the value of the dollar to nothing. But that is what's going on. And of course, we can't get to prosperity by borrowing money that we don't have and spending it. If all it took for us to be prosperous was to print green paper coupons, as one of my supporters calls the dollar today, then why don't we make counterfeiting legal? It's illegal for a reason. Unemployment was 7.2% December 2008. It's 9.6% today. Many people think it's closer to 16% or higher when you take everything into consideration. The deficit spending is putting every program, everything that our federal government does at risk. Everything. So what would I do? Well, we need fiscal sanity. We need to balance the budget, and we can't do that by raising taxes. We have slightly less than $1 trillion in 2009, $900 billion, brought in from our personal income taxes. You double everybody's personal income taxes. That's $900 billion, assuming nobody changes their behavior, which of course you know is going to change when your taxes go, your marginal tax rates goes from 35% to 70% or higher. All right? That doesn't close a $1.5 trillion budget deficit, $1.3 trillion budget deficit. We must cut spending. You don't give an irresponsible, adolescent child more money when they blow it. That doesn't teach them fiscal responsibility. To get the economy moving, we need to deregulate. We need to get the government off the backs of our businesses. Those bureaucrats in Washington, D.C. do not know how better to run your businesses than you do. We need to reform litigation. We have jackpot justice. What we need is a simple rule that applies just about everywhere else in the world. The loser pays. Offshoring. Jared Polis talked about this. I see this firsthand in my company. We had to lay off people earlier this year in Oregon, and we replaced them with people in Cairo, Egypt, or Noida, India. Why? Because you can hire 3 people in those places for the price of 1 engineer here in the U.S. That's why. The cost of hiring also drives the economic incentives for illegal immigration. Immigration, we need to screen everybody coming to this country, make sure they're not threats to the people that are already here. Once they're here, they cannot become a burden on the rest of society. They come here to live an independent life. You become a burden, you get deported. That's simple. And we need to eliminate the economic incentives for people to hire illegal immigrants. Time? Well, you have a clear choice this year, and we'll leave the rest to any questions that you might have.